faces, worn out places.
Steelers lose three straight games. This one against the Packers in Lambeau.
27-17.
27-17. Oh, man. These videos are getting harder and harder, Shane.
It's tough.
Podcast videos, I guess, for both people listening.
4 weeks in, I feel like a Browns fan for the last 20 years. So.
This has been a rough stretch of games for us, man.
It's frustrating because we know what could be, and it's just, I don't know. We look like JV.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we look like JV, and honestly, honest to goodness, end of the third, beginning of fourth quarters, specifically last 2 weeks, we look like we just give up.
Yeah. Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's just like, okay, throw in the towel. We know we're losing. We're down 3 scores. No way we can come back from that because our offense is not good enough.
Yeah.
And so you just sit there and you're like, well, I'm sure a lot of people are turning it off, but we got to talk about it. So maybe we can find some sort of shining light in here. And lo and behold, we didn't.
No. No. This was a tough one to watch. Both offense and defense, actually.
Yeah, I mean, first drive was fine.
Yeah. Yep, you're right. But we sure got a lot to talk about here. So we'll try not to sound like too much of broken records here, but we'll try to sum it up as much as we can.
Sum it up nice and easy.
Ugh.
Offense sucks. Next.
Yeah, that was easy. Defense sucks. Oh, next. Oh, man. Okay, well, let's get to talking about this offense. Maybe explain. Is there anything we can say that we haven't said before, though, in the past couple weeks?
Yeah, we actually had wide receivers running open, a.k.a. Juju, on 2 separate routes. One time, possibly him, possibly Ben could have thrown a better ball. Second time, completely on Ben. No excuse on that. And both times, Ben actually had time. Now that's because the Packers' pass rush is bad.
Yes.
Which
Depleted.
gave us time. So I still don't think our line did any better. I think it's just they were bad. But at the same time, our line looked horrible. Because there was one guy that literally jumped over Dan Moore, grabbed a hold of Ben, and tackled them both to the ground. And it was most of the time when you've seen Ben getting hit or throwing it, like on the replay, you would be like 1, 2, 3. Ben was getting hit. And so that's bad when it's against probably the worst pass rush in the league.
Yep. Yeah. I'm with you.
And no Chase, if you guys
didn't
know.
Yeah, no Chase. Yeah.
Chase has a hammy.
Chase Claypool was out this game. Yeah, it was Juju got open, like you said, 2 separate times. The one was a guaranteed touchdown for sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
The second one, that was definitely on Ben. If he could have outran Eric Stokes, probably would have been, but it was still he had a long way to go.
Oh, yeah.
Like 50 yards or so, I'd say. But still, both I feel like both were on more so on Ben. Definitely the second one. I would say the first one as well. But Ben's got to make those throws. Like, you're not the line isn't giving you chances, and when they're actually somehow giving you chances, especially in this game, they gave you some chances like those 2 plays. Ben didn't take advantage of it. Ben wasn't able to hit it, and I'm sorry, he's been in this league long enough. He should be able to hit those throws.
Yeah. Because he hit Deontay's very, very nicely.
Yeah.
And so it's not that he can't.
Yeah, I was going to say we finally scored in the first quarter. I guess that's something we can talk about, too.
Yeah, first time since, week 10 of last year?
Week 10 of last year.
So, woohoo on that.
That's bad.
Najee was running the ball fine.
Yeah.
Here's my rant for the Steelers offense. Najee averaged, 4.1?
4.1 yards a carry.
Yards per carry. In the first quarter, he had 6 carries, 33 yards. In the third quarter, he had 8 carries, 33 yards. Why did you stop running the ball when he was averaging over 5 yards a carry? Like, he ended up with 15 carries for 62 yards. Like, 62 yards isn't a lot for a lot of people. That's the most he's had as a rookie because our offensive line is that bad. But he was still running great to where if you average 4 yards a carry, you're killing the clock, you're keeping Aaron Rodgers off the field, and every 3 plays, you're getting a first down. That's what it averages out to be. And instead, you're like, Ben, throw it 40 times. You're 39 years old. couldn't hit Juju that time. You like to throw it at the line of scrimmage or before. So, yeah, we're just going to let Najee just not do what he's supposed to. Like, that's frustrating to watch as a Steelers fan.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's up with these bogus fourth down plays or even, I mean, one of the fourth down plays was at the line of scrimmage out to the flat to Najee, like right away. It was hike and throw to Najee in the flat and let him try to get it.
Yep.
Another one was to Juju that was, what was it, third or fourth? I think it was fourth, wasn't it?
I think it was
Fourth and 2?
4th and 5, I thought.
Okay,
and he
maybe
it was literally right
like
at the
a
line
drag
of
route.
scrimmage.
Yeah, like right at the line. I mean, those plays just drive me nuts because you've got probably routes that are going past the line of scrimmage and past the first down line.
Uh-huh.
Like, let's at least just give it an effort. And if you throw an incompletion, I'm probably happier with that than throwing a completion and have them run for it.
Right. Because at that point in the game specifically, because now we're 0 for 6 on fourth down conversions for the year.
Nice.
So that's wonderful. But Jair Alexander was out.
Savage.
Yeah. Darnell Savage was out. Kevin King was inactive. That's their number 2 corner. Zadarius Smith was out. Preston Smith was a little banged up early on, so I'm sure he wasn't 100%. So they had a very depleted defense to where we should have been taking those shots down the field. We should have did everything we could to take those shots down the field, and we just didn't. And it was like, nope, let's continue to dink and dunk. And it's like, why? You are now, their number 1 corner is a third-string cornerback, and their one safety is a second stringer. Like, there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to do a play action or just run 3 verts and, a little 5-yard curl or something like that.
Right.
And we just don't. We are a boring, here's what you got offense.
Predictable.
Here's about 10 plays that we'll call. These are the only ones that we'll call, and we'll continue to run them because we're not reinventing the wheel. Well, guess what? Sometimes the wheel needs reinvented.
Yeah.
And it's that time.
Yeah. I just hate those bogus drag routes, throw it to the flat. Like, why aren't we trying a 5-yard pass when it's 4th and 2, 4th and 5? Why aren't we trying a 10-yard pass when it's 4th and 2, 4th and 5? Like, take a deep shot, for goodness sakes. I'd rather see that than let's throw a check down to Najee and have him try to fight and get him killed again.
Oh, yeah.
Because those defenders on those plays are guarding that first down marker. They're going to come up for everything and stay right on that. So to throw it underneath and expect Najee to get it, I mean, I know Najee's great. He can make the first guy miss, and he's going to fight for those yards. But, man, you're going to get him killed. It's just not a very good look. Like, you have guys that are coming up to make those plays. You have Najee out there trying to bust his butt, and it's just not a good look. It's not.
No, not at all. And it's honestly there was a couple of tackles that Najee took late in the fourth when you knew it was over that when he got hit, I was like, oh, man, like, I'm glad he's getting up. And at that point, I was like, I want him out of the game because I would rather keep him healthy and everybody else get hurt around him, unfortunately, because he's our star for the future.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's sad to say, but it's crazy. I know us Steelers and I know the organization and all of that by this point, but, when you're down 3 scores and there's no point in coming back, you might as well see what you got. Put Mason in. Activate Dwayne this game and put Dwayne in. Do something. Because Ben's just either he's having an off day at the office or something. And maybe if you bench him and say, listen, you're starting next week, but we're benching you because you look bad. Maybe that's just enough to get Ben thinking, like, man, the Steelers are being real serious about this. Like, because Ben can't throw it deep, but Mason's not great with a whole lot of stuff, but he's good at throwing it deep, if there's one thing I can say about him. And so it's just, I don't know. I know we're not going to, but at the same time, just seeing where we missed big shots this game because of Ben and because of the offensive line, I don't know. I was looking for something different because the game was in reach for a long portion of time, and we just, I don't know. We continue to shoot ourselves in the foot on offense.
Yeah.
We just literally light the dynamite and hold on to it until it explodes on us.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I know we're going to get to LVPs here, so I'm going to jump right into that, if you're okay with that.
Yep.
Big one for me is going to be Ben.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and just I think we just kind of came into the expectation in this game of line's probably not going to look great this game.
Right.
I mean, they haven't looked good. I don't know if they will. I don't know. They're a work in progress.
Correct.
So we knew that they were going to come into this game and not look so hot, even against the front seven of Green Bay's. But we figured that if Ben got protection, he would be able to make throws. And a lot of times this game, we saw him with protection. More often this game than we have in the prior games. We've seen him with some protection, some time to throw it, step up. He even got a pump fake on the one to Juju that he missed the first that would have been a touchdown. Yeah, was able to give me a little half shoulder pump, and then flung it, and he missed. He missed that throw. He missed another one. He missed some to Deontay on out routes. He missed another one to Deontay. It was almost a pick. And then to make it worse for me is the pick at the end. The pick at the end, Eric Stokes, was just there was nothing there to Deontay, and I just don't see what he ever saw on that play to think I'm going to throw this ball to
100%.
Deontay.
That was the only route that he was looking at and not looking off of it.
This is why Ben is my least valuable player in this game, because he missed too many ones that he should have made when he had the time. And I understand maybe his internal clock's just the line's not giving me time. I actually have time. No, I'm going to throw this. His internal clock's 1,000, 2, 1,000. Let's throw it. Let's throw it. But he had time in this game to throw it, and he did not make the throws that would have been game-changing throws. And especially that pick at the end, it was just I just don't like the look. It didn't look good. The pass obviously didn't look good because it was a pick, but it just wasn't a good look because it shows – what does it show your other teammates? You just threw it directly to a defender. You stared him down the whole play. Go back and look at it. He just stared it down on his left that whole time. I don't like it. I didn't like what I saw out of him today. Seven's got to step up big time, man.
Yep. Nope. I agree. Obvious other one is the line. I'm actually not going to choose them, though. They did make strides. Again, I don't know if it was Green Bay's pass rush is that bad or if we are slowly doing something. I don't know. Trey Turner looked pretty bad, in my opinion. But, no, I'm going to go play calling is mine. I don't know if Ben is the one that dictates some of these throws and all of that to an extent. But my thing is Canada, as he said, wasn't reinventing the wheel, and it's just looking very stagnant, very juvenile, very watered down. And the other thing that irritates me, sure, he may be up in the box for the rest of the season, and that's fine, but that irritates me, and we're just not used to seeing that, and I'm sure other teams do it, and it's fine. I want the offensive coordinator down there talking to Ben, going over stuff with Ben. I want him right there with Ben, like Arians did, like Fiechner did, like Haley did, because I think sometimes Ben needs somebody else there. When Ben's just sitting there with his head hung on the sideline, nobody's going over to him and stuff, that's not helping him. He's getting in his head. And so for that, I'm calling out the play calling, but more importantly, I'm calling out Canada for what he's calling and also what he's doing, because I'm sure they have phones as well, and they could call down and talk to him, and he's not doing it. So to me, it's I don't know. We're very juvenile, and it starts definitely between play calling, Ben himself, and the line. And until we make some changes or I don't know what,
wave your magic wand.
Yeah, it's buckle up because we're not an elite team, and unfortunately, we are down the bottom, and everybody else in the AFC North is 3-1. We're 1-3. That's a tough mountain to climb back out of.
No kidding.
That, unfortunately, even though there's an extra game, that is almost insurmountable because of how tough the AFC North is.
Yeah, I was going to say we got the toughest division in football, I would say, right now.
Yeah.
So, yep,
I agree.
What's your grade for the offense?
Oh, F-.
Okay.
Move on. Get him out of here.
I like that Najee got his first rushing touchdown. I like that Ben actually connected on a deep ball, and we scored on our first possession and in the first quarter.
Yeah.
For a touchdown. Not just a field goal. Got 7. So that was great. Other than that, I got nothing.
Yep.
So I'm going to go F. Yeah, it was a rough day in the office for the offense once again.
Yep.
Defense, they didn't look too hot, man.
Nope.
They really didn't. We've always, past 2 seasons, we've been able to kind of rely on the defense as our backbone. And this game, they were on the field a lot, so I will give them that. But they just didn't look too hot, even when they had a bit of rest from the offense, when our offense would kind of put a drive together.
Yep. No, Butler's play calling is again becoming suspect. Played a whole bunch of zone against a quarterback who can pick apart zone. So that was very, very frustrating to see. Him and Rodgers and Devontae sure made their connections, but Randall Cobb, a guy who hasn't been anything the whole season, pulls off 2 touchdowns, led their team in receiving yards. Like, fine, you stopped Adams, but you also have to think about other people. We were getting absolutely gashed on runs. I mean, I would say, without knowing the actual stats or whatever, A.J. Dillon, second string running back. Najee had 15 carries for 62 yards, average 4.1. A.J. had 15 carries, 81 yards. No touchdown, but at the same time, that puts him up to at least 5, maybe almost 6 yards a carry.
Mm-hmm.
And so they didn't have to, they didn't have to do anything. It was, Rodgers was pretty good, a little off at times, uncharacteristically, but that was fine because our defense was like, okay, we're going to stop Devontae Adams, and that's going to make everything fine. And then it was like, wait, they got running backs. They have other wide receivers. Like, yeah, that's a football team.
Yeah.
Like, and their line is not that great, and we barely exploited it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sure looked pretty good against us, huh?
Yeah. Looked great. I mean, Watt was back. Highsmith was back.
Yeah.
Bush was in. Hayden was in. Cam was in and out with injuries, but he was in. Minka was in. Edmund. I mean, we had everybody except Alulu and Tuitt there.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing. I mean, it just nothing.
Yep.
It was bad.
Really bad, yep. Yeah, they just didn't have a backbone, man.
Nope.
They got gashed on the runs like by Dillon and Jones when he was in. They were just mixing and matching. I was looking here. Dillon had 15 carries. Jones had 15 carries. Dillon 5.4 average, and Jones had a 3.2 average. So, I mean, they were getting chunks every time they were running the ball. They were getting chunk plays.
Yep.
And we knew we were going to have to try to stop Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was going to throw the ball on us. I mean, it's pretty hard to stop a guy like him. But when you can't stop the run and the pass, how are you supposed to get off the field?
Dead in the water.
Yeah, I mean, and we did. I mean, it was I think, what did it say? Packers scored on 5 consecutive drives.
5 straight drives, 2 touchdowns, 3 field goals.
Yeah, they only punted twice, I think, right?
Three times.
Was it 3 times?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, couldn't get off the field, couldn't make a stop, couldn't make any splash plays, nothing there. Pass rush was about non-existent today.
Yeah, I mean, Watt got a sack. Whether you really want to call it a sack or not, probably a tripping call.
Should have been a tripping call, most likely.
I think Bush got a sack.
Yeah, Bush got the sack.
And there might have been one other one. But other than that, I mean, yeah, pass rush
was really not. I mean, think how many times Aaron Rodgers would stand back there and have all the time in the world just looking, staring. Okay, find the open guy. Let's get it delivered.
They gave Watt a second sack, and that's when Rodgers gave himself up and slid.
Okay.
So we technically got 3 sacks, but
okay.
But no, most of the time we would rush 3 or 4 guys, and their line would just hold it up, and so he had all the time in the world to do it. And when you're playing zone, it's just going to be like, oh, okay, this guy's somewhat covered. This guy, boop, right there.
Rodgers going to find that pretty.
And it's just, I mean, there was times, honestly, when he had like 7-8 seconds to throw the ball when he was finding somebody, and it was pitiful to watch. And I don't think Watt was 100%. Highsmith probably not 100%. Sutton went out with a groin injury. I'm sick and tired of hearing about us having groin injuries.
No kidding.
I don't know what the heck our trainers are doing, but they're doing something wrong because that's like 6 or 7 players for us that's went down with groin injuries. Chase with a hamstring. A lot of these soft tissue injuries, you don't like to see that. It's just frustrating to see. You know, you expect your defense to do better, and sure, we got a fumble recovery, but I mean, it was a poor performance all the way around.
Yeah.
That I don't know. You know, we feel like the defense was on the field a lot, but they were only on the field for like 35 minutes, which like isn't great, but isn't horrible either.
Yeah, I guess that's about maybe typical.
We've seen it before where our defense has been on the field for 40, 42 minutes in the past, and so it's just not what you like to see.
Yep, they weren't the bright spot though. We thought they would be in this game.
Yep.
Who's your least valuable player for defense? Got one? Or unit?
That's what I'm trying to think. I mean, I'm going to say our rush defense in general. Just, I mean, when you're gashing that much, it's
Front seven guys then maybe, or just because I was going to go front seven for just the run defense even. I mean, you could go either way, pass rush or
I could even
rush
say
defense.
Keith Butler on his play calls, because once again, linebacker was on wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when Schobert was on Devontae, and then there was another time when Schobert was on Randall Cobb. So, I mean, what are you thinking? We've seen this play out before, and it doesn't work out well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then people are going to blame Schobert. And
Yeah.
it's
That's
not his
fair.
fault.
No, that's not fair. That's
he
clear
probably,
mismatch.
He probably runs a 4.8 or maybe a 5.2, something like that for a linebacker. And, you know, you're putting him up against guys who clearly better route running skills, clearly built to run and not just to hit. Like,
right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to go front seven too. What about a grade for the defense?
I'll go with an F. I was not happy with our whole team as a whole.
Yeah, I'll go D- then. Always got a one up, yeah.
Yes, for the most part, yes.
Just quickly, real quick, I guess, because I want to get to special teams and I want to get to officiating. Special teams. Boswell, did he kick one field goal?
Yeah.
Just had the one field goal, which
Yep.
he drilled. I think was a 52-yarder. So good on him. He got back to his.
He's been drilled as a little.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was off the upright. His extra point was right down the middle. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, he doinked
He had
it
two
in.
extra points.
Yeah.
So yeah.
He doinked in that field goal. Yikes. Yeah, it was from 52 though. I guess I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And Presley Harvin had one botched punt, which we didn't really see the camera angle on. I know he got hit, so I didn't know if he got.
Yeah, because they were questioning whether it should have been like roughing the kicker or running into, which running into is only a 5-yard penalty. I don't know if that would have been enough to give us a first down, but they were questioning. So I don't know if it got tipped or if because of what it was. But yeah, he ended up botching one, which was not great. But he did kind of redeem himself. Got one in the 10 or in the 5 somewhere around there.
I think
so. And so. I mean, there's still growing pains, and I don't know whether I want to put the blame on that or not.
Right. They didn't put another angle on that play.
No, it was like
so we didn't see
it's
if
like
it was tipped.
Okay, we're kind of surprised on this. Went to commercial break, came back, acted like it never happened.
Yeah.
That was a lot of the Green Bay like calls and stuff. And I don't know if that's Green Bay like controlling it. I don't know if that's the NFL. I don't know if that's Romo. Like I don't know. It was just weird. Like weird angles, not showing a lot of replays on a lot of things that I thought were important to see, and like I don't know, it was questionable sometimes at best for the fans to see. Maybe they weren't showing it because they knew that they got the calls wrong, and they were like, "We're just gonna kind of like skip past this, because we don't want to be ranted out on Twitter like we already are."
Yeah, probably.
So
I'll give the special teams a C.
Yeah. This kind of goes hand in hand, so I'm actually going to give him a better grade.
Okay, let's hear it.
Just because the refs screwed us, so I'm going to go B-.
B-. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. The last thing I want to talk about was the officiating.
Refs suck.
Yeah, I was going to say that there was a couple questionable calls in this one. Definitely one huge one that would have been a possible game shifter in this one. The ones everyone's talking about is the blocked field goal or non-blocked field goal.
10-point swing.
Yeah.
We would have been up 17-14 at halftime. That changes the dynamic of everything.
They kept showing the same angle of the play. So
behind.
Yeah, they kept showing behind it. Okay, and then we'd see Hayden start to go, and then the ball snapped. But then the one thing that caught our eye was when Tony Romo, they had played it like the 8th time they played it. Tony Romo had said, well, you see him move that ball before that snap, before the ball's actually snapped, and defensive players just go when that ball moves. So
right,
the ball moves and Hayden moves simultaneously. I mean, he was right on the ball. I mean, him and Minko were right on the snap. That thing moved. They called the offside penalty on Joe, but Minka came in, blocked it, was able to pick it up, scoop, and score for 75 yards. Was called back because they called it on Joe being offsides. And I'm not even trying to look through it through my Steelers binoculars, just as a completely trying to stay as most unbiased as I can. But I just see it as I'm viewing it. I see that ball move and those players move simultaneously.
Right. Yeah, so at that point, if it's not a snap and the ball moves, that's a false start, not an offsides call. And so, yeah, it was disappointing to see. A lot of hate going out to the refs. But this isn't the first time the refs have messed up. Not even our games, but just in the NFL as general. Like, the refs seem really bad this year. They've missed a lot of calls. And, I mean, granted, like, TJ's one sack. Like, they were calling a tripping, then they decide not to. And me as a Steelers fan, I thought that was tripping.
Yeah, exactly.
They should have called it. Should have been a first down.
Yep.
You know, TJ had a real bad roughing passer. TJ was not TJ today. He was a little but then there was another time, like, you call roughing the passer on Aaron on that, and then Ben throws the ball, and one of the guys, like, crown of his helmet hits Ben, like, in his gut or, like, right at his waistline after the ball is gone. Never called that whatsoever. And so it's like, you gotta have some sort of consistency. There's a lot of times that I've seen on both sides, like hand grabbing and that. Like Deontay tried to catch a deep ball, only had one hand because Jair was holding the other one.
Right.
And so it's like, all right, you got to make up your mind. Either let the guys play, or you got to be very fair on both sides of this ball, one way and the other, because I think they goofed on both ends. And it's just, I don't know, it was a poor officiating performance.
Yeah.
And something that, you know, it's continued to be the talk around the league for different games this year.
Right. And what was the score, though, when they were kicking that field goal? 14 to 10.
We were down.
Yeah. So
and there was like 23 seconds left.
Right. So we would have went up 17-14 at that point. Had a 3-point lead, maybe right at halftime. Maybe they would have come back and scored something. I don't know, but to tie it up maybe. But that's a big call. The one against Aaron might have been a big call too, I guess technically. But that was a scoring play they pulled back for us. So as Steelers fans, we're looking at this and like, hey, that could have been a huge momentum swing for us,
right? For
the defense, for the offense, for both. I mean, that could have been a huge shift in the game for us. And
yep,
just something I feel was missed, but. Oh, well, you're going to have those calls, and that's just the name of the game.
Yep. Officiating gets a big old F. Stamp it on there.
Yeah, that's right. We'll get our grades for the officiating crew, F minus.
Yeah. Yeah. MVP on that's Gene Steratore, because he even said afterwards that it shouldn't have been called.
Yeah,
so.
He tweeted out. No, you're right.
And typically you guys don't do that because they could get in trouble from the league for, going against the refs, but no. And, of course, Steelers are just going to get, oh, sorry, that was a missed call, just like the Lions last week.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's one of those things where eventually you got to start penalizing the refs, because otherwise they're just going to be, I don't know, they're going to half-butt their job. And
yeah, exactly.
They make a lot of money to make mistakes like that cost people who make a lot more money games.
Yep.
So.
You're right. Yeah, I guess just congrats to the Packers. They came to play. Kudos to them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they came to play. They had a great game.
They played a well-rounded game. They ran the ball well. They passed it well. And defense held us to 17 points, but really 7 of those points kind of came in garbage time.
Yeah, no. I mean, 17, that's tough for us. But, yeah, no, it's one of those where we're just not looking good. But the Packers look, they look like a playoff-ready team. Every bit of where they left off last year.
Yep.
And so, as we're going to say week in and week out, I'm afraid, they came to play, and
we did not.
So, next week we play the Broncos at Heinz Field. We'll see if Bridgewater plays. He will left with a concussion, but the Broncos, whether it's their starter or not, always play us hard, whether it's at Mile High or it's at...
Would it be Drew Lock then?
Probably Drew Lock.
Okay.
Which, we took him out the last time.
Yeah, we did.
And then we still almost lost.
Yes. Driscoll, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Jeff Driscoll.
So, we'll hopefully figure out more what's going on with them before we talk about their preview. But otherwise, thanks for listening to us rant for, I don't know, eternity and beyond about our Steelers. We still love them. We're still going to watch them. We watch them till the end, even though some days we don't want to. But
that's what we do, I guess. We're just diehard fans. So.
Yeah, diehard fans who become frustrated and try to find a positive light. It's just that light's feeling a little dim right now. Give me a couple of days.
Yeah, that's all right. We're kind of going off emotions right now. So. But yeah, like Shane said, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening in, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you.